Hello, I'm Philip Johnson with the Idaho State Tax Commission. I'm a tax research specialist here. I'd like to talk to you about sales tax regarding parent-teacher associations. Today's agenda, we're going to go over the basics of sales tax for PTAs, fundraising, and then get into some help and resources. Sales and use tax are complementary taxes at 6% here in Idaho. And the Sales and Use Tax Act was enacted in 1965. Sales tax is a tax we pay on everyday items like groceries, clothes, vehicles, and fast food. Use tax is one of those things most people don't understand. It is a corresponding tax to sales tax. Use tax is a tax on purchases when sales tax was not paid in another state or on online purchases. This prevents buyers from going to a non-tasking jurisdiction to make purchases and not paying sales tax. Making purchases. Your PTA is not a sales tax exempt buyer. You cannot make tax-exempt purchases such as school supplies, even if it is for the school. Purchases by a school, unlike a PTA, a school is an exempt entity and they can buy goods tax exempt. The State Tax Commission has two seller's permits, a regular seller's permit and a temporary seller's permit. The Tax Commission offers both permits free of charge. The difference is on how long each permit is valid and how many events and when to file. If your PTA is planning on more than 3 events in one year, you should get a regular seller's permit. If you plan to purchase goods for resale, you should have a regular seller's permit. This is an example of Form 850 to remit sales and use tax to the Tax Commission. You can find reporting instructions on the State Tax Commission website. If you have sales and use tax permit, you are to file the taxes on the 20th of the month following the period. That would be monthly, quarterly, or annually. Buying for resale. If you're buying for resale as a permitted business, you have the right to purchase items for resale with a sales and tax reseller's certificate. This is an example of Form ST-101. Properly filled out exemption form shall have the purchaser's name, title, business name, address, federal tax ID or driver's license number, signature, date, and the reason for claiming the exemption. Donations. If your organization receives a donation, donors must pay tax on the cost of all goods donated. For example, a retailer donates a snowmobile to a PTA as part of a fundraiser giveaway. It is the responsibility of the retailer or donor to pay tax on their cost. Form ST-133GT is used for titled or registered vehicles, vessels, and RVs being donated. Records. Keep everything related to sales tax. If in doubt, keep it. Keep your records at least 4 years. The statute of limitations is 36 months for permitted businesses and 7 years if you're not permitted. Now we're going to go over fundraising. There are 6 different categories of fundraising: admissions, auctions, carnivals, charitable gaming, concessions, and suggested cash donations. You need to know when and when not to collect tax. As a rule of thumb, when in doubt, collect sales tax. Always separately state tax and taxable items. Are admissions to a place or event subject to sales tax? Yes, they are. Collect tax on the admission price and additional fees and charges. Do not pay tax on items your customers will receive with the price of admissions, such as lanyards or t-shirts. Admissions exception. There is an exception for a nonprofit. So if you have a sale of admission by a nonprofit organization, which is an IRS section 501c3 organization, you're exempt if all of the following are true. The event is not recreational or commercial. Entertainment is minimal, and the organization paid sales tax or use tax on all items or services used during the event. Auctions. Auctions are very popular with PTAs. Are auctions subject to sales tax? Yes, they are. In an auction, collect sales tax on the fair market value or retail value of the item sold. Do not collect sales tax on the amount over the retail value. For example, if you have an auction selling baskets, event tickets, baked goods, etc., you auction an apple pie and the suggested retail value is $10. If someone bids $100, you would collect tax on $10 and collect 60 cents. The net donation is $89.40. When you remit your sales tax, the total sales are $99.40, the non-taxable sales of $89.40. Then it would show taxable sales of $10 with 60 cents of tax collected. Are carnival games and activity booths taxable? Yes, they are. Collect tax on the price for activity booths and to play games. Pay tax on supplies, rentals, and recreational services. Don't pay tax on guaranteed prizes. Is carnival merchandise sales taxable? Yes. Collect tax on all merchandise sold. Collect sales tax on the sales price. Do not pay sales tax on the purchases of merchandise for resale. An easy way to calculate tax is to sell all tickets, games, merchandise for a price including sales tax. Then you can back into the sales and sales tax to report and remit. Are charitable gaming like raffle or bingo games taxable? No. Don't collect tax on sales of games of chance. Pay tax on items used and the prizes. Donors pay sales tax or use tax on items donated, such as the snowmobile that we talked about, where they would pay the tax on the cost of the item. Your organization may need to apply for a raffle or bingo license through the Idaho Lottery. For a raffle, if the fair market value is over $5,000, you should apply for a raffle license. For bingo, if you expect to collect over $10,000, you should apply for a bingo license. Concession sales. Are they taxable? Yes. Furnishing, preparing, or serving meals and drinks are taxable. Collect tax on the sales price. Pay sales tax on equipment and items used. Don't pay tax on food, for resale or disposal of containers. So if you rent a popcorn machine and scoop, you pay tax on the rental. You do not pay tax on the popcorn, oil, or popcorn bags. Concession sales can be calculated with tax included or taxes added at the time of sale. This sign is an example of a suggested cash donation. If you suggest an amount of a donation, it is taxable. When you suggest a price for admission or what you are selling, for example, if you are having a spaghetti feed and you suggest $10 donation per person or $30 per family, it becomes taxable. You would owe tax on all cash donations. If no dollar value is stated, it is truly a donation. It is not taxable. Let's move on to help and resources. You can find valuable information on the tax.idaho.gov website. The Tax Commission has updated our website to make it easier to navigate. Stay in touch with the Tax Commission to get the latest news on tax guidelines, requirements, deadlines, and much more. I appreciate your time, and you can get more information by calling the Boise office toll-free or visiting us on the website. Thank you very much.